Thinking of making the move to Henderson, Nevada? Well, it's an exciting adventure. There are some challenges you need to know about. Let's dive into what you should be prepared for. Number 1, construction. Don't like dust? You may not like Henderson for the next 10 years. While it's super duper exciting that there's so much growth here in Henderson, new communities like Live Neo are being developed. The Canyons located in Niskaya is growing. We also have the new high-rise building Four Seasons happening right here in McDonald Highlands. It's all exciting. It's all raising the bar in terms of what offerings we have here in Henderson. The only problem is it comes with a lot of construction. From cones to traffic to just dust. My car is constantly covered in dust. I'm constantly getting nails in my tires. I'm constantly driving around, having to take detours. Like I said, it's exciting. You can come to Henderson and get a strip view with a brand new home and totally love it. But with that comes the construction. So that is definitely a huge challenge that this area is facing for at least the next 5 years, possibly 10. Another thing to note on construction is the early wake-up time. If you're someone who likes to sleep in Monday through Friday, well, probably not gonna happen with construction next door. Construction typically starts around 6:30, 7 a.m., and they're usually done by about 4 p.m. depending on what time of year it is. When the sun's down, they're usually gone unless they're working inside, which wouldn't really bother you anyways. But just so you know, that is something to think about if you're someone who likes to sleep in during the week. Is construction something that would be a deal breaker for you? We have tons of neighborhoods here in Henderson that don't have a lot of construction, so don't totally rule it out. But just so you know, if you want that brand new house with that strip view, or you want to be in a growing, thriving community like Inspirata, you may have to deal with some construction for a little bit. Let me know if this is something that would bother you in the comments below. Leisure and entertainment options. So one thing to know about Summerlin and Henderson, the major difference is Summerlin has something called Downtown Summerlin, an outdoor mall with a Macy's, Dillard's, Apple Store, Sephora, tons of restaurants. My office is actually located in downtown Summerlin, so it's somewhere that I go very often. They also have the Las Vegas baseball aviators, they have the Golden Knights practice facility. There's a lot going on in Summerlin. Well, here in Henderson, we do have the Lee's Family Center, which used to be the Dollar Loan Center, and we have the Henderson Silver Knights, which is so much fun to watch. I love going to the games. I love being part of the community there. We also have the Green Valley Ranch, which is called the District. The District has a Sephora, Rachel's Kitchen, as a hair salon. There's also the Green Valley Ranch Casino there with a couple of restaurants. It doesn't compare to downtown Summerlin. Like when I drive by the District at Green Valley Ranch, I often tell clients that I'm sharing the different locations because most people want to see both sides. I say to them, hey, like the District's great. I like going there, but it's not downtown Summerlin. And if you're someone who wants to just drive less than 10 minutes and be in an outdoor mall that has farmers markets and different things like that, tons of different restaurants, True Foods Kitchen, then the District just doesn't really compare. And it's kind of sad because I wish that the District had more to do. I do know they are opening a North Italia and Flower Child very soon. I'm so excited about it. But as of right now, that's definitely a major difference, something that people point out to me, that I point out to them, and kind of a challenge here in Henderson. I really wish that that area would grow, and with Water Street being revived, I hope they add more shops and different things like that too, because it's really needed on this side of town. If we haven't met yet, my name is Courtney Bentley and I'm a luxury real estate agent here in Las Vegas. I offer concierge service to take the headache out of moving to my favorite city, Las Vegas. If you're watching this video and enjoying it, be sure to hit the bell so that you never miss a video and subscribe. Now let's move on. HOA fees. So here in Henderson, there are a few master plan communities because remember, Henderson is the second largest city here in Nevada. Oftentimes people, depending on where they're moving from or what they're used to, are not used to HOAs, which are homeowners associations. These homeowners associations create rules and guidelines for different things like what color you can paint your house, if you can leave your car in your driveway, what side of the street you can park on. There could be security, gates, guard gates, clubhouse. There's just different rules and different things, but with that comes a fee. And as I always say to my clients, the most important thing you can learn about that fee is what it includes and what rules matter most to you. Meaning, if you're someone who likes to have an RV and it's part of your lifestyle, there are a lot of communities here in Henderson that won't allow you to park your RV in your driveway or in your backyard. So that would definitely be a deal breaker for you and something that you would need to consider when it comes time to start looking at houses. So that is definitely something you want to discuss. But for a lot of people, they're not used to those fees, they're not used to those rules. So it could be a challenge that you may face moving to Henderson. You may be finding that home that's perfect and it's everything that you want, but it comes with a high HOA and a list of rules that you just don't agree with. So it's definitely something that could be a challenge for you. In lieu of that challenge, the good news is HOAs, in my opinion, can keep property values up. Meaning that with the rules and regulations, people aren't painting their homes odd colors or leaving 20 cars out front and making the house seem like it's a car lot versus a home. It keeps the neighborhoods clean. Oftentimes they do landscaping in the neighborhood. There's a lot that comes with homeowners associations, and it's something I prefer to personally live in. I know not everyone does, but depending on what you're used to or what you're open to, this could be a challenge or a bonus. Walkability. Another thing I notice from clients who are moving from places like LA or San Francisco, they're used to being able to walk places. Well, here in Henderson, we don't really have a huge walkability score unless you live near the district at Green Valley Ranch or in Lake Las Vegas, where you could just hop in your golf cart. Just so you know, Lake Las Vegas is actually golf cart permissible area here in Henderson. It's so cool. You can hop in your golf cart, go down to the village, have that experience, go to your friend's house, go play golf. Great experience. But in terms of walkability in most parts of Henderson, it doesn't really exist. You're not walking to a cafe and grabbing a coffee and brunch and walking home. It's not really that type of neighborhood. Now, you can live near the district at Green Valley. They actually have condos in the district. A lot of people don't know that. And you could just go down the elevator literally and you're on the district with the Coffee Bean and Rachel's Kitchen and the Green Valley Casino Resort and a spa and all kinds of fun stuff on the district side. But that's something to note, is you're not gonna be able to just walk and do things. So that could be a challenge for you if you're used to having that type of lifestyle. The good news is you're gonna get a car. So that's always fun. You could pick a car out and get used to driving around and experiencing and exploring our city. True or false? The first person to get this right in the comments below will get a shout out on my short. Is Henderson the second largest city here in Nevada? Let me know your thoughts below. Adjusting to the climate. Now here in Henderson, it can get really hot during the summer. Oftentimes my neighbors in July and August aren't really here, and it's because they're traveling, and a lot of my neighbors are actually empty nesters, or couples like myself and my husband with just 2 dogs. A lot of times they get out of town and beat the heat, literally. So oftentimes many of my clients have a hard time adjusting to the climate. I actually moved a wonderful lady and her husband out here, I want to say like 2 years ago. I found her an amazing property, single story, completely refreshed, beautiful, totally turnkey. She loved it. She spent so much time curating the furniture. She actually checked out some light fixtures to make it her own. It was just a beautiful property and she really loved it. She couldn't get over the heat. She called me during the hottest time of summer and said, "Courtney, please list my home." And I said to her, "Why don't you just get out of town? Get out of town, go somewhere else, beat the heat, and then come back." Well, she came back 2 weeks later and said, "I still cannot stand it." So all that time, effort, and all the things she did to make this home her own, it just wasn't worth it to her. She ended up moving back to where she came from and having me sell her home. Thankfully, the market was really strong and I was able to get her multiple offers over ask, but at the same time, it was definitely something she had to overcome. Now, depending on what you're used to and where you're coming from, it depends. You know, if you're someone who lived in Arizona, grew up in Arizona, coming to Las Vegas may not be that much different. Someone who came from a really cold place may not like the heat. It really depends where you're coming from. Another challenge to note about Henderson, it gets really windy here. A lot of people don't know that Las Vegas and Henderson is actually very windy. I didn't know that when I moved here. I did not prepare for it. I actually wear glasses a lot just to not get stuff in my eyes, and I have to get my windows washed often. But most cities, most places you go to, there's always pros and there's always cons. No place is perfect. I've yet to talk to someone that thinks a place is fabulous and absolutely perfect. There's always a con, there's always something you can find. And for me personally, and for a lot of my clients, that I've relocated and people I know who live here in Henderson, well, they don't necessarily love the heat. They don't necessarily love the wind. They don't necessarily love the construction. All the pros, which I've created tons of videos on the pros about living in Henderson and all the different neighborhoods, check those out, really overcome all of the cons. So if you're someone who's looking to relocate here in Henderson, I have tons of videos, tons of resources to check out, so be sure to check those out above. If you're watching this on your TV, be sure to scan the QR code so that you can subscribe easily and never miss a video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.